The Great War, 1914-1918. A conflict that engulfed Europe and reshaped the world.
Stickman War, World War I, the Great War Bonsi.
A web of alliances, simmering tensions, and a single act of violence ignited the powder keg of Europe. Years of rivalry and mistrust had created an atmosphere ripe for conflict.
The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo proved to be the spark that lit the fuse.
Existing alliances quickly solidified, drawing nations into the widening conflict. Germany mobilized its forces, setting in motion a chain of events that would plunge Europe into war.
Great Britain, bound by treaty, prepared to defend its allies.
France braced itself for the inevitable onslaught. The initial German offensive swept across Belgium and into France. The war quickly devolved into a brutal stalemate of trench warfare. No man's land, a desolate expanse of death and destruction. Life in the trenches was a constant struggle against the elements, disease, and the enemy. Artillery bombardments turned the landscape into a churning wasteland.
Over the top. A desperate charge into the face of unrelenting fire.
The machine gun, a weapon that redefined warfare. Poison gas, a new and terrifying weapon of war.
Gas masks became essential for survival.
Trench raids, brief but deadly encounters in the darkness. The war settled into a grinding stalemate, with neither side able to gain a decisive advantage. The Battle of the Somme, a massive offensive designed to break the deadlock. On July 1st, 1916, the British launched their attack. The results were catastrophic. Thousands fell in the opening hours.
The battle dragged on for months, with only minimal gains and an enormous cost.
Meanwhile, at Verdun, the Germans launched a massive assault on the French fortress.
The French defenders stood firm, determined to hold their ground at all costs. Verdun became a symbol of the war of attrition, a battle of wills with no clear victor.
At home, civilians rallied to support the war effort. Women took on vital roles in industry, filling the jobs left by men at the front.
Food shortages became increasingly common, impacting the lives of ordinary people.
Governments relied on war bonds to finance the ever-increasing costs of the conflict. In 1917, the United States joined the war, shifting the balance of power in favor of the Allies. American troops brought much-needed reinforcements and a renewed sense of optimism.
In 1918, Germany launched a series of major offensives, hoping to secure a final victory.
But the Allied forces, bolstered by American troops, launched a successful counteroffensive.
The German army, exhausted and demoralized, began to retreat. On November 11th, 1918, the armistice was signed, bringing an end to the fighting.
Soldiers returned home, hailed as heroes. The Treaty of Versailles imposed harsh terms on Germany, laying the seeds for future conflict.
The Great War had left a deep scar on Europe, both physically and emotionally.
Millions had perished, leaving behind a generation of shattered lives.
The war had crippled economies and destroyed infrastructure across Europe. The war led to the collapse of empires and the creation of new nations, reshaping the political landscape of Europe. The League of Nations was formed in an attempt to prevent future wars, but its effectiveness was limited.
Had the world learned the lessons of the Great War?
The scars of war ran deep, a constant reminder of the sacrifices made. The memories of the trenches would haunt a generation.
For Germany, the war's legacy was one of defeat and humiliation.
The war had robbed a generation of its innocence and optimism.
The seeds of future conflict had been sown, setting the stage for another world war.
The Great War, a tragedy that shaped the 20th century.
A generation forever marked by the horrors they witnessed. The land remembers.
Subscribe for next episode, World War II, Invasion of Normandy.
The next chapter of global conflict unfolds.
Darker tides, new players, same devastating results.
Until next time.
Remembered.